Welcome to the Worker Environmental Awareness Program training for the County of Santa Cruz Parks Department's PACE Wilderness Trails project at Quail Hollow Ranch County Park. This approximately 20-minute long training outlines the measures that the County of Santa Cruz has agreed to implement as part of the project to protect the environment. The training covers two main topics. First, it will outline construction best management practices. Second, it will highlight measures to protect sensitive biological resources. First, we'll discuss the best management practices to limit impacts to the environment during the course of construction of the trail. The following measures must be implemented to control erosion and prevent sedimentation during the course of constructing the trail. First, enclose and cover all exposed stockpiles of dirt or other loose, granular construction materials that could contribute sediment to waterways. Second, prohibit the placement of earth or organic material where it may be directly carried into a stream, swale, ditch, marsh, pond, or other body of water. Finally, cut soils should be cast downslope or be used for fill sections as directed by trail construction leaders. The following are additional measures to control erosion that must be implemented during the course of the project. First, limit the removal of material on the trail surface only to the limbs, herbaceous plant cover, and litter that's necessary to make a clear and walkable path. Limit the width of the trail through the sandhills habitat to an average of just 18 inches. Finally, limit trail construction activities to the trail footprint. Avoid additional soil disturbance that could cause compaction and remove vegetation in the adjacent areas, including by limiting the amount of standing and walking that's conducted in that area during construction. Crews must also implement the following measures to limit waste production at the site. No solid waste is to be generated during construction. Pack all trash out of the area. Remove all project markers, including flagging and stakes, upon completion and final inspection of the trail section. Cut vegetation is to be disposed of per the direction of the project biologist and the trail construction leaders. The following measures must be implemented to limit hazardous materials contamination in the site. Properly secure fuel containers for the duration of the project. Promptly clean up any spills to minimize environmental impacts. Have a spill kit on hand when fueling. Finally, avoid refueling in the sandhills area unless there is secondary containment. In this portion of the project training, we'll discuss the sensitive biological resources that occur in the project area and the steps that must be taken to protect them during the course of the project. First, we'll discuss sandhills habitat and special status species and how they can be identified during the course of the project. The sandhills are sensitive habitat found only in central Santa Cruz County. They occur in areas that feature Zyanti sand soil, which is a gray or beige colored sand soil that's derived from uplifted marine sediment. The sandhills are a unique ecosystem, and they support 5 special status plants and 3 special status animals. They are one of the rarest ecosystems in the United States, and they are protected by the County Sensitive Habitat Ordinance. This map shows the location of the sandhills habitat, which is encircled in a red dashed line with respect to the trail alignment, which is in yellow. As illustrated, the sandhills habitat is near the center of the project area before you access the loop trail portion of the trail. There is also additional sensitive sandhills habitat throughout Quail Hollow Ranch County Park, including where the Sunset Trail meets Quail Hollow Road, as outlined in the yellow outline in this map. As noted, there are 5 special status plants and 3 special status animals that are known to inhabit the Santa Cruz Sandhills. These species are protected by state and federal law. In the next several slides, we'll be providing tips to identify and understand the habitat for each of these species, except curly-leaved monardella and Santa Cruz kangaroo rat, which are not anticipated to occur in the project area. First, we'll talk about silverleaf or Bonny Doon manzanita. Silverleaf manzanita is a large shrub. It's endemic to the Santa Cruz Sandhills, and it has a state rank 1B2, which means it's one among the most rare and endangered plants in California. Silverleaf manzanita can be identified by its gray-green or silvery colored leaves. The species occurs in the sand chaparral habitat that lines the trail alignment, and it's also found along the initial part of Sunset Trail near Quail Hollow Road. The project area also features brittleleaf manzanita, which is found more broadly in the Santa Cruz Mountains and Monterey Peninsula. In the project area, brittleleaf manzanita occurs in the chaparral on the loam soil adjacent to the Zayante sand soil. Brittleleaf manzanita differs from silverleaf manzanita in the following ways. First, it features a burl, which is a basal mass of tissue from which the shrub can resprout following fire or other disturbance. It also has long hairs on the stems that are bristly-like. And in addition, the leaves are hairy underneath and sometimes on top when young. Brittleleaf manzanita can hybridize with silverleaf manzanita, making it challenging to differentiate. Consult a project biologist if you need help identifying the manzanitas. This map depicts the general locations where the manzanitas occur. As illustrated, brittleleaf manzanita is the predominant manzanita in the initial portion of the access trail where it adjoins the Sunset Trail. This portion of the trail traverses the loam soil. When the trail reaches the Zayante soil, silverleaf manzanita is the predominant manzanita species. However, both species of manzanita occur in both areas. The project area also supports Benloman buckwheat, which is a perennial herb in the buckwheat family. It is also endemic to the Sandhills, which means it's found only in the Sandhills. It has a state rank 1B1, which reflects that it's among the most rare and endangered species in California and elsewhere. Benloman buckwheat flowers in summer. In the project area, it occurs along the Sunset Trail, where it adjoins Quail Hollow Road, and in an open area within the Ponderosa Pine Forest south of the trail alignment. This map generally shows the location of the buckwheat in the project area. As illustrated, there's a small patch just south of the trail alignment in a Ponderosa pine clearing. There's also a much larger area of buckwheat in the sand parkland habitat further south. Finally, there's buckwheat along the Sunset Trail near Quail Hollow Road. Benloman spineflower is another rare species that's found in the project area. It is an annual herb that is small and prostrate, growing low to the ground. It's federally listed as endangered as well as has a state rank of 1B1. This species flowers between March and June. It occurs along the Sunset Trail near Quail Hollow Road and in the open area within the Ponderosa Pine Forest south of the trail alignment. This map shows the locations of Benloman spineflower in the project area. It is very similar to where we find Benloman buckwheat in that it's found in the clearing just south of the trail in the Ponderosa Pine Forest, in the sand parkland further south, and along the Sunset Trail near Quail Hollow Road. Next, Benloman wallflower is a biennial to short-lived perennial herb that flowers just once, between March and June. Seedlings and juveniles can be found year-round. It's a state and federally listed endangered species, and it has a state rank of 1B1. It occurs in the sand parkland just south of the trail alignment. This map illustrates the known location of Benloman wallflower with respect to the project area. As illustrated, it is in the sand parkland habitat south of the trail alignment. Wallflower used to be found along the Sunset Trail near Quail Hollow Road. The project area also provides habitat for the Mount Herman June beetle, which is a federally listed endangered species. The species is found in the Zayante sand soil as well as adjacent loam soils. Occurs in a variety of habitat types, including chaparral, sand parkland, ponderosa pine, and coast live oak woodland. The species is primarily fossorial, meaning it lives below ground, and it has three life stages: larva, pupa, and adult. The larvae are usually only encountered if they're disturbed in the soil. They occur there year-round and are about a quarter inch to 1.5 inches long. They curl up into a C shape when they are disturbed or encountered. They have 3 pairs of legs and are cream-colored with a brown head. The pupa are rarely encountered as they occur primarily in April and May. They're about 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches long, and they're orange, glossy, and ribbed. Adults are found above ground during their flight season, which is from May to August, when they can be found flying at night. They are about 1 to 1.5 inches long and are brown with white broken pinstripes. This map shows the suitable habitat for the Mount Herman June beetle in the project area, outlined in orange. As illustrated, it includes the Zayani soil area as well as the adjacent loam soil. Like the other sandhill species, Mount Herman June beetle also occurs along the Sunset Trail near Quail Hollow Road. The sandhills are also home to the Zayante bandwinged grasshopper, an endemic species that's federally listed as endangered. The Zayante bandwinged grasshopper may occur in the open sandy soil along the Sunset Trail near Quail Hollow Road. It's a very small grasshopper, about 1 to 1.5 inches long, and is very well camouflaged and may not fly. It lays its eggs shallowly in the soil where they can be easily impacted by disturbance. Along with the other species illustrated here, the Zayante bandwinged grasshopper may occur in areas of open sandy soil along Quail Hollow Road and in the southern portion of the Sunset Trail. Crews should take care when parking and utilizing this area for access during the course of the project. In this portion of the training, we'll discuss other sensitive biological resources that could be impacted by the project. The project area also provides suitable habitat for nesting birds. Nesting birds and bird nests are protected by several state and federal laws. It is unlawful to handle or destroy bird nests or to disrupt nesting bird activities. Bird nests can occur in a variety of places, including on the ground, in herbaceous vegetation, or in the open. They can also occur in shrubs and trees. Nesting period is generally considered to occur between February 1st and August 31st. However, nests can be observed year-round. The project area also provides habitat for the San Francisco dusky-footed wood rat, which is a California species of special concern. This large rodent has round ears and a tail that's as long, if not longer, than its body. It is brown to gray and has a white underside. It lives in very characteristic stick houses that it builds on the ground or up in trees. Now that you're familiar with the sensitive biological resources that are in the project area, this next part of the training will discuss the measures that can be taken to protect them. First, all project personnel working on site must participate in a worker environmental awareness training. Listening to this PowerPoint presentation satisfies the training requirement for general project personnel. Trail construction leads must also attend an on-site training that will be provided by the project biologists. Next, a biological monitor must be present during the course of trail building construction work in the Sandhills portion of the project area, as well as all areas that provide suitable habitat for the Mount Herman June beetle. Specifically, a biological monitor will need to be present during all vegetation removal and soil disturbing activities when they occur inside the area outlined in orange as shown in this map. To protect dusky-footed wood rats, avoid disturbing their nests. This will mean not removing, piling debris on, or otherwise removing vegetation from around the nests. To protect bird nests, the biologist will conduct a nesting bird survey prior to work that begins between February 1st and August 31st. A suitable no-work buffer will be established around any bird nests that are encountered until the nests are no longer active. Contact the biologist if you see a bird nest or birds exhibiting nesting bird behavior while you're working in the project area. To protect silverleaf manzanita, avoid impacting individual silverleaf manzanita shrubs to the greatest extent feasible. If it's not feasible, conduct only minimal pruning. Specifically, no more than half of the shrub volume should be removed. The following additional measures must be implemented in the Zayante soil area and adjacent loam soil area in order to protect the Mount Herman June beetle and its habitat. First, limit the trail width to 18 inches to reduce the impacts of the trail. Second, confine project activities to the trail footprint. Avoid soil disturbance, soil compaction, and additional vegetation removal in the adjacent areas. Avoid steep cross slopes that require cutting for trail construction in Mount Herman June beetle habitat. Use hand tools to construct the trail under the supervision of a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service approved biologist. Avoid working during the flight season for the Mount Herman June beetle, which is May 15th to August 15th. Finally, do not leave cut vegetation, piles of soil, or other materials on the soil surface in Mount Herman June beetle habitat, as these materials will inhibit Mount Herman June beetle emergence. Native plant material can be used to create discrete brush check dams to restore the old eroded trail. All other biomass, including all invasive French broom, must be hauled to a non-sandhill soil area or off-site.